Rain of all things real is breaking o'er me. My heart is singing, I have found the way. Hello, my channel mammals. I just wanted to tell you that when I went to the fair, I was smitten with this little white bull right here. His name is Fire. He was named after a famous Scottish warrior. Yes, a valiant Scottish warrior, Ivanhoe. And this is his mummy. She was right there at the fair next to him. And these are Scottish Shorthorn, these cattle in here in this barn. And I think she'd like a little nibble. You want some? Yes. These are big animals. Aren't they beautiful? I love their eyelashes. Good girl. You want some too, Fire? There you go. There you go. Well, I'll just put it right here. If you want some, you can come. I'm not going to hurt you. Yeah? Here. There you go. It just reminded me of our experience as children growing up in 4-H. I think I mentioned that we were really the Lone Rangers because it was just the children that had these big animals, which my parents, like when I look at myself with them here now, and I realize what we did as young children, it just makes me more in higher admiration of my parents than ever for letting us go into 4-H without a farm background. And so the first steer that we had was named Ivanhoe. And I mentioned this in another video. He was from a ranch called Kickapoo up in the north of Michigan. And I think they were the first ranchers, cattlemen that brought the Shorthorn over to the United States. I'm not positive. And he was grand champion at the county fair. And then my brother wanted to enter him in the Bourbon Beef Show in Louisville, Kentucky, which is a big American international show for beef cattle. And people would, cattlemen would fly these big animals in from all over the world to enter the Bourbon Beef Show. And because it gave their breeding and their farms a name that would show that they were of a high quality if they got any placement in this show. So my brother was the youngest entry. Most of the people were full-on ranchers, and so he was very excited about this, and of course we all were, to even get in to the exhibition. And some months before the exhibition, Ivanhoe became very ill, and the county agent was very concerned about him, and we, being a family that loved to pray for our animals, and we always saw the most remarkable, to human sense, just ongoing progress with all of our animals. And so we knew that to turn to God was a wonderful way, because often they will put them down because it's expensive to correct a problem with livestock. So it was a wonderful opportunity for us to just keep on holding that steer in love. And however, this growth that had occurred on his neck, which it kind of filled between, the whole area under his neck and all the way down. And it got larger and larger and didn't seem to fade. Well, one morning, my mother had to send me across. We kept our cattle in an empty barn across the road that was owned by a farm family that wasn't farming anymore, that we knew. It was a very rural area where we lived, but we didn't have a barn. And so any of our steers or heifers we had over there across the road. And I'll never forget, she sent me to run to get my brother Bruce to come and catch this, to get to school in time on the bus. And so she said, run fetch Bruce. So I ran across in the snow, and I found myself just stopping. And in this glistening sun, just like this, only it was filled with silvery drops of ice coming down out of the sky. And it was just the most beautiful morning light. And I heard this voice inside the barn. And it was only Ivanhoe and my brother. And my brother was sitting up on it wasn't steel like this, it was wooden, the little corral. And he was sitting up on the corner with his feet wrapped around. And I just stood there. And actually, I peeked in, but I didn't want to disturb what he was doing. So I just looked straight ahead. And in my heart, I just sang right along with my brother. He was singing a hymn to Ivanhoe. And I'm not sure today what the hymn was that he was singing to Ivanhoe, but what came to me this morning when I was trying to recollect out of the blue a hymn that I might not have thought of, but I thought, even if this wasn't the hymn, it seemed to fit for me, the way that we were thinking. And it goes like this. From sense to soul, my pathway lies before me. From mist and shadow into truth's clear day. The rain of all things real is breaking o'er me. My heart is singing, I have found the way. I'll give you the rest of the words of the hymn, but I just felt, as a young girl, this wonderful sense of seeing this boy with this steer just alone, just feeling this wonderful way breaking open. And so then I had to hurry and scurry and get Bruce. So I clambered on in and I said, Bruce, we have to run. We'll miss the bus. And he leapt over the stile and off we went on to school. And when we got home from school, we went over to do our chores like we always did with the animals. And this growth had broken open, and this substance was coming down Ivanhoe's fur, and it just went back into complete normal condition. And then it was no time, and the Bourbon Beef Show was coming, and off we went in a trailer with the steer to the Bourbon Beef Show in Louisville, Kentucky. And this is he placed 8th in this world contest, which is a very high placement for his not coming from a big ranch or big breeders, and this one lone boy and his beautiful little sweet steer. So I just wanted to tell that story because I thought it just shows how precious these animals are and how they're so sensitive. They just respond to love and all of the results of love. And I just thought this is a story of children and animals, all just how natural it is for all of these things to fall away that seem to be stumbling blocks. And the lessons that we learn are so great through that. And there's so many other stories that we've had too along the way. But I just thought when I saw this little white bull, it just seemed like something I should share with you. So I'm so glad we had this time together. We made a long journey to come here. All the way from Staten Island, it must be 8 hours drive. But we drove up to the school where we worked first, which is a 5-hour drive, and then we drove almost 2 3/4 hours here to the western part of the state. So we did all this just to show you the kind of animals, the particular kind of animals that we've been working with all those years. And this little bull right here, even though he's very young and not full grown yet, he won Grand Champion Bull. That means out of all the breeds at the fair. So he's already a champion. Isn't that great? So have a wonderful, glorious day. It's dawning right now. Pretty good job. There's almost nothing left in there now. Okay, that's enough. Are you going to wash the dishes too? And lift them clean? From sense to soul, my pathway lies before me. From mist and shadow into truth's clear day. The reign of all things real